Well, Jim's from Santa Cruz, California, and I'm from Nederland, Colorado, right here in the mountains. 9,000 feet in the air. And about 9 feet in the air for Jim.
Yeah.
9 feet in the air.
We range from 9 to 9,000 in altitude.
Yeah.
That's good. Got some help from everywhere. You guys have an album that you recently released. What's the name of that album?
It's called Reckless Habits.
I like that name. What's the story behind this album? Where did it come from? What message do you want to get out with it?
The album came from just down the road here. Actually, we're in Fort Collins, Colorado right now, and the album was recorded in Loveland, Colorado at Backbone Studios with Tim Carbone from Railroad Earth producing, Barry Sless on pedal steel, the Black Swan Singers, great Denver gospel group, Bonnie Payne, all kind of friends. It was a big production.
Beautiful.
It was a big picnic.
Yeah.
About 10 days of a picnic in Loveland.
No ants, though.
No ants. No,
it's a picnic with no ants. It couldn't have been better.
Good deal.
30 below zero. I don't think the ants could have done too well.
Is there anything in the album that is special to you? Like what means the most to you in this current disc?
Well, it's definitely something that I think we felt like we worked up with our blood, sweat, and tears on the road for a year. We did a lot of songs we've been playing out and around, and we were coming to the end of a really busy season. We'd had some really great gigs that year, so I think there's some of that in it.
And you know, I've always been a big fan of that country rock kind of boogie sound, and I think we delved into that kind of vibe, but you know, real comfortable, but yet you know, kind of rock and roll.
Awesome. Where can we find this album at?
Well, mostly at GreatAmericanTaxi.com.
That's a good place to start. And it's on all the usual outlets too.
iTunes.
iTunes, you betcha.
Amazon.
All right.
And also at Best Buy.
And the last song you sang about mountaintop removal. What else have you guys delved into that? What does that mean to you?
I just came back from Washington, D.C., where we had what I referred to as the Million Hillbilly March. Appalachian Uprising had about 2,500 people marching from Freedom Plaza to the White House just a couple weeks ago, and had about 100 people arrested in front of the White House in order to make a statement saying this has to end right away. There's the equivalent of Hiroshima, that amount of explosive blown up every week in the state of West Virginia. And very few people realize that these mountains have been being destroyed. There's over 2,000 miles of stream that have been covered up with mining waste, which since the Bush administration has been termed overburden instead of mining waste to get around the Clean Water Act. And right now before Congress there's an act called the Appalachian Restoration Act that would do away with those skirting of the Clean Water Act and lots of other environmental regulations, which have been done through an executive understanding. I'm sorry, I don't recall. It's an executive order that issues an understanding of what mining waste is or isn't, and it's.
They're the oldest mountains, you know. We have other ones. Don't worry about it. Bush administration politics. Sorry.
Wasn't there just some significant victories going through government though after the march just last week? You get.
So it made a difference.
There was some effects.
It was great. I took my kids to D.C. with me to show them how democracy works. You know, that if people get behind it and show up, that things can happen. And one of the things we did on that march was we stopped at the EPA office and had 2,000 people chanting, "EPA, do your job."
Yeah.
And they're doing
Environmental
that now.
Protection
The permit
Agency.
for the spruce mine #1 was just pulled. It was going to be the largest mountaintop removal operation in the world. And luckily that permit has been pulled. But the EPA has been getting serious grief for that politically. And it's up to us to give them the push to stick to it and really do their jobs and protect our water and our air and our mountains. Now, the governor of West Virginia is suing the EPA over the denial of that permit. That's how politics is in West Virginia. Coal is so in control in that state. It's ridiculous. And so the rest of the country needs to come together and put pressure on this, on saving these really valuable national treasures. And because the politics of the state of West Virginia is such that the federal government has to come in, the EPA has to come in and do it, or it won't be done.
Music is a fantastic outlet to get a message like that out. A lot of people hear it that way.
We hope so.
Cheers for you. Thank you so much. Good.